Welcome to today's group training, everybody. Hope everyone's having an amazing Wednesday. Today we're talking about letting go of worry. This is something that I've struggled with for the longest time and I've had to overcome, and I have a deep personal story with worrying, and we're going to get into it. So everybody worries. Worrying is a normal, feeling, a normal thing that we kind of automatically do. But sometimes worrying can be bad for us when we do it too much and we start to worry about things that are out of our control. It starts to create a lot of negativity inside our mind, and that's not what we want. All right, so let's get into it. I've always been a worrier, guys. Growing up, I thought if I worried enough, I'd be ready for anything. I thought that my worrying, I always thought that it was proactive. I always thought that maybe if I worry about shit, um, it will get better. And that's not the case at all. But I learned that worrying doesn't solve problems. It just drains energy and keeps us stuck in negativity. I want us to be doing a lot of reflecting with today's training. Do you feel like worrying helps you stay prepared? It could. I really believe that. I used to believe that, and I am now convinced that that was just like a coping mechanism. I was telling myself that, me overly worrying is making me more prepared for this potential situation to happen, for this scenario to happen. You know, when you worry, does it actually help you move forward, or does it just add stress? These are questions that I want us to start asking ourselves when we're dealing with worries. Um, if a random worry come up, say like, hey, the election or the weather or something that's out of your control, you need to ask yourself, is this something, is me worrying about this um, proactive? Is it actually helping me, or is it hurting me? And what are some more, because usually when we worry about something, it's not even something that's going to happen in real life. At least that's my situation. I would always worry about, what if this happens? What if that happens? And it was like, it was not even probably going to happen in the first place. So we also can ask ourselves, when we're dealing with a lot of worry, what are some more other likely scenarios that might happen instead of what I'm worried about? Okay? Worrying feels productive. This was something I struggled for a while. I thought it was productive to worry, but it isn't. And maybe someone will debate me on this, but I don't think worrying is productive. Worrying can feel responsible, like we're covering all bases, but it just leads to stress and indecisions. Guys, the more we worry, the more we stay in procrastination, the more we overanalyze, overthink, and usually when we overanalyze, overthink, and worry, it tends to be negative. Just the word in itself, worry, is kind of has like a negative connotation. It's like I just feel like the word worry is just a negative word. So we don't need to worry about shit. The only things that we should be worried about are things that are within our control. And I don't even think worrying, the word worry, when it comes to those things, is even conducive, is even proactive for our results. Um, Example in my life, I once worried endlessly about a big decision, thinking of every what if, but it didn't get me anywhere. All that time could have been used for actual action, guys. I've wasted tons of time worrying, thinking, negotiating, arguing with myself, when it was just a huge, massive waste of time. Massive waste of time. It's sad, honestly. Think of a recent worry, guys. Think of something that you've been recently worrying about. Did it lead to action or just more stress? Getting deeper into these worries and really trying to understand why we're worrying and what our worry leads to can, help you understand if your worrying is helping you or hurting you. And trust me, just because I'm your coach, worrying is not helping you. It definitely is not helping you. Usually, no matter what it is, like it's just gonna push you further into scarcity, further into negativity, and further into what if this happens, what if that happens. And you guys know I say this is a quote that I like. When you operate from what if and you operate from worry, that's fear. When you operate from even if and faith, that's not fear, that's faith. So there's two types of ways you could operate. You could operate like, what if this negative situation happens? It's gonna fucking suck. or even if that negative situation happens, is not going to suck because I'm still going to be alive. I'm still going to be able to do what I want. I'm still going to be able to be me. Even if it happens, I'm still going to show up. What if this happens? Right? So we need to it's a massive mindset shift. Those two simple phrases to yourself. What if this happens? No, fuck that. Even if it happens, I'm still going to love myself. I'm still going to be proud. I'm still going to do what I need to do. I'm still going to stack these positive habits and stack these wins throughout the day, even if the weather's bad, even if this happens, even if that happens. No more what if that happens, because that what if mindset keeps you in that negative worry spiraling, in that worry cycle. Okay? What if you'd spent the time actually taking action instead of worrying? We would probably all be billionaires with six packs by now if none of us worried and only took action. Okay? Part two, quick check in to reduce worry. When I catch myself worrying, I ask these questions to stop the cycle. Is there a positive way to look at this? Is me worrying helpful or hurtful? How likely is my worst fear to happen? What would I tell my friend with this worry? So this is a massive one, guys. Usually when your friend comes to you and he's like, hey, this is going on, I'm worried my girl, and and then you probably, he confides in you and you tell him some, pretty good advice, or you try to. It's kind of hard for us to do that to ourselves when it's going on with us. So, but these are questions I want you guys to ask. Is your worrying proactive? Is there a positive way to look at this? Is the worrying actually helping or is it hurting? And how likely is this scenario or this fear likely to happen? And what are some more other likely scenarios that would happen that are more positive? What would you tell a friend with this worry? All right, guys, now reflect. I want you guys to write down a current worry and answer these questions for yourself. What's the worry? What are you worried about? Maybe you're worried you're not going to reach your weight goal. But maybe you're worried that your car's going to break down. Maybe you're worried that your relationship's going to get fucked up. What is your current worry that you're worried about? Is there a positive or realistic way to view it? Is worrying about it helping you or hurting you? We're going to go back to this a lot because I feel like it's a massive realization when you really start to ask yourself, when you are worrying, is this helping or hurting? 9 times out of 10, it's hurting. Okay? 9 times out of 10, it is hurting. Depends what it is. Sometimes we have to worry because shit hit the fan and now we got to worry. But, the whole point to have a positive life and have a higher quality of life is to have higher positive thoughts and a higher quality of positive thoughts. And if we are worrying, it's going to all the time about whatever's going to happen. It's going to be hard to have a bunch of positive thoughts and positive self-talk when we're constantly worried. Okay? And so the more we worry, the lower quality of our life is. The more we don't worry and we're just like, even if that shit happens, fuck it. Fuck it. Even if it happens, I'm still going to be proud of myself. I'm still going to put in the work because I love myself, even if that happens. And how likely is your worst fear to come true? It's probably not. What advice would you give a friend with this worry? These are questions that we're going to be asking ourselves when these worries present themselves. All right, part 3, guys. This is huge. And I mentioned this in a post earlier today about the election, but focus on what you can control. Worry about things we can't control is exhausting. And redirecting our energy towards what we can control, our actions, our habits, our mindset, make the real difference. Example, guys, if you're worried about not reaching a fitness goal, you can instead focus on showing up consistently, resting well, eating right, tracking your food intake, prepping your meals, sending in form videos so your coach knows that you're training hard with good form. Reflect now. Write down a recent worry. What's one thing you can control in that situation? How would it feel to focus on that one thing? Hope you guys are getting value from this because I like talking about this stuff because it means a lot to me. Part 4. letting go of others' opinions, guys. This is massive, massive. I wouldn't be talking to you right now if I still cared about what other people think. When I first started my business, and all my friends were looking at me posting fitness content like I was crazy, like, and I was just like, fuck, I need to not. If I need to only care about what I think of me, and if you keep worrying about what others think of you, you're not gonna think highly of you, and then the other people that don't really matter are gonna think highly of you because you're so worried about how they perceive you. It's only about how you perceive you, because when you start life, it's just you. You pop out of your mom, you're there as a baby, but when life goes, it's just you and your thoughts and how you feel about yourself, how you conducted yourself throughout your life. And if you have all these things, most people's regret on their deathbed, I've heard this from a lot of people who work in retirement homes, and most people's regret on their deathbed is not living a life that they truly wanted because they are worried about opinions of others. Everybody's worried about opinions of others, and people are going to be so worried about opinions of others, and it's gonna haunt them, and you're gonna build up massive regret because you could have became an astronaut, you could have been a baseball player, you could have been the president, but you were so worried about what other people thought about you that you didn't take the necessary actions to do that. So this is another massive mindset shift I want to give you guys, is that it's easier said than done what I'm about to say. Of course, it's easier said than done, but maybe I could spit at you a combination of words that's going to resonate with you to give you this mindset shift. Is that your opinion, the you it doesn't matter what other people think of you because they're not you. It only matters what you think of you. And it might be uncomfortable for you to do that thing that you want to do, but you're worried about what others might think about you. Okay? Listen very closely here, guys. It might be very uncomfortable to do that thing that you want to do, but you're worried about what people might think of you. Okay? But if you don't do it, you're going to think of yourself less. You're going to think of yourself lesser. If you do it, you're going to think of yourself more. And if you do not worry about what other people are thinking about you, and you do the thing that people might look at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That's crazy. But you do it anyway because you know it's going to help you become better. It's going to get you closer to what you want to be. You're gonna be so proud of yourself for doing that thing and not caring about what other people think, guys. You're the only one that is gonna be in your coffin with you. I know you're not like alive in your coffin or thinking, but I'm saying, guys, it's massively important that your thought of you is much more important than the thoughts of others, what they think about you. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm trying to articulate a combination of words that super resonates. So I'm kind of struggling here, but the main point is, guys, is that it really doesn't matter. People don't, like, you're gonna do something, maybe go in the gym, film a video of yourself, form video. Nobody's gonna remember. Like, nobody gives a shit. People might look at you like, "Whoa, that guy's filming," or people might, whatever the scenario might be. People might look at you, but they're gonna forget. Like, they have their own problems, they have their own life, and they have their own self-talk. They have their own worth, where they're trying to figure out, also, just like you, how they can love themselves more and not care so much about what other people are thinking. And how you do that is constantly having these mindset shifts and reminders and these paradigm shifts. And this is the paradigm shift that I'm giving you, is that it literally doesn't matter what other people think, okay? Because if people mind, they don't matter. And the people that matter don't mind. The people that, like me, I'm gonna love that you do the uncomfortable shit. Your friends, your family, they're gonna love, that you do the shit that you want to do and you don't care what other people think. But the people that are like the haters, or like they don't understand it, and they mind, they don't matter. The people that actually are thinking about you in a negative way, they don't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter what the haters think. Trust me, I'm online posting on social media. I get tons of random haters all the time. Just the other day when I made a video about posting breakfast, and everybody on TikTok was like, "This is horrible advice. You should never eat breakfast." I'm like, so whatever. You could be curing cancer, and people are still going to try to figure out how to hate you. So, the people that mind don't matter. and the people that matter don't mind. So guys, and you really have to take this into your soul right now, is that when you stop worrying about what other people are thinking about you, that's when your life truly begins, because then that's when you have true freedom. To be it's very freeing to have these two things, to understand that you are only worrying about things that you can control. You're only worrying about what you put in your body. You're only worrying about things that you can control. And you also don't care about what other people think of you. I know me just saying this is just like, wow, that would be wonderful. And I've said this a billion times. It's easier said than done. But having these mindset shifts, if you're resonating with what I'm saying, and giving yourself these reminders that it doesn't matter what they think, it only matters what you think of you. And you're going to think so much more highly of you if you do the thing that they will think is weird. If you're going to think highly of you, if you do the thing that they will think is weird, okay? And if you don't do that thing because you're worried about what they are going to think, you're not going to think highly of yourself. And you have to go home with yourself. You're not going home with them, so it doesn't fucking matter. All right? All right. Cool. Do you catch yourself worrying about other people's opinions? We all do. I mean, it's normal. It's part of fucking human nature, and we have to train our brain to stop doing that as much. It's not going to just happen overnight. Just like with our positive self-talk and the positive actions, we have to recondition our brain. We've been conditioned to think that we should care so much about what people think of us. And that's what is going to keep us stuck in this cycle of never fully doing what we want with our life because we're worried about what other people are thinking. But you guys are doing it. You're working on self-development. You're eating with purpose. You're working out. You're working on your mindset. And that's awesome. And you doing those things, you're going to start to think more and more highly of yourself. And you keep doing self-development. You keep thinking highly of yourself. And then it might get easier to start to do things that you might not have done because you were worried about what other people would think. Bada bang, bada boom. Worrying about what others think can keep you stuck. When we let go of worry, we free up our energy to grow in ways that actually matter to us. So I want you guys to reflect. Do you catch yourself worrying about others' opinions? What would you do if you weren't held back by that worry? Think about that right now. What would you do if you weren't worried about what anybody else thought? Don't get arrested. Don't go out in the street butt naked and yelling because you don't care about what people think. The thing is, you've got to be realistic with this, of course, but your life truly, truly begins. I truly believe this. Your life truly begins when you don't give a shit about what anybody thinks about you. And of course, you have to conduct yourself like a civilized human and be appropriate and be professional. And there's some people that, like when I was a kid, I pretended like I didn't give a shit about any people's opinions, and I would be rambunctious and I'd be defiant, but deep down I really cared. And I was doing these things and being defiant and being a degenerate because I wanted to seem cool, and I wanted people to think I was cool. But now as an adult and been through all the trauma and the regret and the shame, like I don't care. I only want to do things that make me feel proud. I've had times when I was first being a coach, like trying to film videos in the gym, and I was very self-conscious and I was worrying like what they're going to think about me and all this stuff. And as soon as I hopped outside of that comfort zone and started consistently filming my workouts, not caring about what anybody thought, I just thought so much more highly of myself for getting outside of my comfort zone and doing those things that I was worried about doing because I was worried about people thinking about what I was doing. All right? Closing recap and action steps. Worrying doesn't add value to your life, okay? Focusing what's within our control. Let's put energy towards real growth and well-being. And the two massive takeaways that I want you to take from this is to do your best to remind yourself, is this worrying helping or hurting? Is this worry within my control or without of my control? What would I say to a friend if they had this worry? Okay? And also, how can I slowly train my brain to not care so much about what other people think? And how can I start to think more highly of myself? And the best way to do that is to continue working on self-development like we are in the program and start doing things that might be slightly uncomfortable that you might think people might be thinking about you and looking at you, but you don't care anyway because you want to do it because you want to prove to yourself that you think that you love yourself. You want to prove to yourself that you don't care about what other people think. You want to prove to yourself that you want to do something just because you want to think more highly of yourself. And you don't give a shit about what the haters think. And the people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. All right, guys? Action steps. I want you guys to pick one worry to work on this week and really try to dissect it and ask those questions we talked about. Use the check-in questions above to shift your perspective on these worries. Focus on one action within your control and commit to it. And we can do multiple actions, and we're talking about the daily steps and habits in the program. Let's keep moving forward one step at a time towards our best selves. All right, guys. Hope you got value on this training going over worrying. I thought this was a good time to do this training with the big news that's going down in the world and stuff. So, you guys, shit's gonna happen regardless. It's not in our control anymore. If shit hits the fan, and it's not in our control anymore. Okay, what is in our control is how much body fat we have, how strong we are, how much muscle we have, how proud we are of ourselves. All these things that are within our control, those are the things that I want us to not necessarily, and I don't really like to use the word worry because the word worry is just negative. So instead of worrying about the things that are in our control, let's just control the things that are within our control because they're very easily controllable. It's just we just have to have the mindset and the tenacity and the drive and the follow through to do it. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions about today's training, reach out to me. Comment below this video. I'm going to be sending everybody this worksheet and this video training. I hope you guys got value from this training, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.